So it's been a hell of the past week and week before, and time seems to be going by slow and fast, and it can't make up its mind, or maybe I just can't understand what it's doing. I had a couple parties I do with my little guy. He was turning 7. No excuse, it just time got away from me, and I did not prioritize YouTube because everything else just felt so busy and so like congested, and my mind was elsewhere. But we're back now on this episode of let's talk about that winter snowfall video. I've always liked things in slow motion. I can't imagine one person that doesn't. But in its own creative right, like in the right circumstances at the right time, it really plays a beautiful part. It almost has this relaxing sort of feeling to it, as long as it's not like action-packed to some guys jumping from an explosion. That's different. It was the first snowstorm of the year, and I was like, I'm gonna get my camera out there. It's freezing, and I have this big rig walking around. I'd get a few funny looks from like plow people coming by, but nonetheless, you know, who cares? So I kind of wanted to show it from like my perspective. Of like how I got the idea of I want to go outside and film this. I didn't just want to start with filming outside. I want to be like, okay, I'm inside. I can see out the windows because I got rather big windows. And I'm like, why don't we show it from like how I'm seeing it first? So I set up my camera in the windows, and like, what if I like pulled focus from inside to out to show me like looking out the window, but so POV from me. After that, I got my gear on, went outside, and I'm like, what are some of the things that can just show off the snow, but like you need a contrast, and like looking at that light post and then imitating, because you can see your pullback, which is actually in post after. Even though I was pulling back very little, I wanted to stay in focus, and so I locked the focus, and then I just barely enough so it didn't like go out of focus, but I was capturing the snow and anything in that wall of focus around the light fixture. There's one where a plow truck going up the hill, and I'm like, you know, I'll capture that. So I ended up cutting in. And then I'm like, you know, let's go out back. So I just kind of show like these split shots of like where the parking lot is, the apartment buildings, and like the scuba place, the scuba store, or whatever they call shop right across from us. Basically, it was just what I went outside and I find things that are peaceful and I think will be cool to capture on camera. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a story every time, but just kind of, that's kind of really nice, gentle, relaxing footage, and that's what I went with. And that's why I went with the piano piece, because anytime I think of snow, all I can think is piano piece. Even when I was doing my drone flights, I would fly them all throughout Wilton, go over the, you know, just barely grazed rooftops and go through the forests and on lakes, and there's always piano, it's always pretty. But it's all in up to you. It's all in like how you're interpreting it. Certain things in the winter with how I would move my camera, place my camera, and show. I was just like, yeah, it's peaceful, it's zen, slow movements, keep the focus on, just show things I find interesting, to show like, hey, this is where I live. I saw the snow through my window, and check it out. Look how peaceful this is, right? I would encourage anyone, and I struggle with this all the time, is to just get out there and film. Just get out there and film. Sometimes I lose the oomph. Everyone will lose the oomph at one point. You will. Do not get discouraged by losing that oomph, that drive. It will come back. And the next little venture I'm gonna do, get a hold of like these smaller businesses, their products, make up a little ad for it, and then be like, hey, is this something that would interest you guys? If so, would you like to work with me? And we'll see. We'll see. Anyways, I hope you guys love this episode. It wasn't a very long one, but I just wanted to talk a little over some of the stuff and how I got some of the stuff and how I thought of it. And just go out there and shoot. Use your phone. Use anything. Just get out there and film. Next week, we're actually going to introduce more lights into scenes. So we've gone from 1, we've gone from 2 to 3, and then we're going to start doing like accent lighting and then room lighting and like other areas to make the scene even better. And it's incredible what you can do with lighting. Literally, it's light painting at this point. It's literally like when someone is on a canvas, and you just here and here, and a brush stroke there, and just to like make it come to life. Different shades and colors and brightnesses, and it gets me excited thinking about it. My brain will wander as I'm saying, be like, man, I want to do that right now. But we'll get into that more next week. Hope you guys liked the vid. I'll catch you guys then.